Hello, it's dumplet here. Here's an item on evaluation. Find the sum 1/3 plus 1/15 plus 1 over 35 plus so on and so forth until 1 over 399. Again, credits to the Art of Problem Solving community for this item. As usual, pause this video if you'd like to give it a try, but if you're done, let us dive into the solution. Now, for the first timers towards this item, this might be quite a difficult task. Well, I guess the first instinct is, okay, let's try to get the LCD, but this doesn't seem to be promising because we have a lot of numbers and 399 is kind of large. But playing around with numbers, one might see that, okay, we technically have a pattern. The fractions are of the form 1 over n times n plus 2. And if you have that instinct, then you are correct. We're going to use that into solving this item. So let's dive into the solution. We have that. So now, where did this intuition came from? It's to notice that, well, obviously we're getting a sum, so there must be a trick. Otherwise, why would this item be in the video? So let's talk about the numbers in the denominators. So 3, I can write this as 1 times 3. 15 here, I can write as 3 times 5. 35 here, I can write as 5 times 7. And the 399 here, I can write it as 19 times 21. So it's like consecutive odd numbers multiplied together. And that's why I can technically say that the fractions are of the form 1 over n times n plus 2. Now, what can we do with this? I'll show you guys an identity. This is identity. So I can say that 1 over n times n plus 2 is equal to 1/2 times 1 over n minus 1 over n plus 2. Now, you guys can easily expand this to verify. But you might think, who the hell would think that this expression, which is more ugly looking, is helpful? Now, and where do we actually get this? In fact, this is a topic called partial fractions, or we are decomposing fractions. So like if we have a factor or 2 factors in the denominator, we can separate it into 2. So like this. Now, how do I get this from here? I mean, sure, you can just memorize it, but here's a systematic way to do it. Now, if you're decomposing fractions, you would expect that if you have like linear factors, let's say n and n plus 2 here, we know we can decompose it into 2 fractions with a over n and b over n plus 2. Now, this is generally the format for linear factors. Again, I repeat, for linear factors. It's not going to be the same for quadratic factors, but in this case, we only have linear factors, so that's fine. Now, just multiply both sides by n times n plus 2 to get this equation. And from this equation, we're going to do some substitutions to get the value of a and b. So if n equals -2 and n equals 0. Now, why these 2 numbers to be specific? Because it makes this or this equal to 0. So we can solve for one of the variables. Now, if n equals -2, then 1 equals b times -2, so that's -2b. And if you solve for b here, if we solve for b here, you're going to get that b equals -1/2. So the value of b is done. Now let's try n equals 0. If n equals 0, I'll have 1 equals a times n plus 2 is 2, so it's 2a. And that will give me that a here equals 1/2. Now, since a is 1/2 and b is -1/2, oh, b here is -1/2, sorry. So we're going to have this. Now, just simply factor the 1/2 out. Factor the 1/2 here and the 1/2 here. Factor it out. I'm going to end up with 1/2 times 1 over n minus 1 over n plus 2. So that's how you decompose fractions. Alright, so we're going to use this into solving this item. Now, since I've mentioned in the earlier part of the video that 1 over 3 is technically 1 over 1 times 3. The 1 over 15, I can write as 1 over 3 times 5. The 1 over 35, I can write it as 1 over 5 times 7. So on and so forth until the last term, 1 over 399. I can write it as 1 over 19 times 21. And that's the general thing to be followed. Now, we have this identity, so I know that I can decompose this fraction into this form. So it's going to be 1/2 times 1 over 1 minus 1 over 3 and then plus 1 half times 1 over 3 minus 1 over 5. We do the same for the 1 over 5 times 7 and the 1 over 19 times 21. And what we're going to see is that we're going to have, we're going to add stuff until the last term. So the last term being 1 half times 1 over 19 minus 1 over 21. So we have a common factor of 1 half here in the front. So we're going to factor it out. Now, if I factor it out, I will be adding these numbers. And in fact, if I do that, we're going to end up with this. So this is the factored 1 half. And this is the part of that's involved in the 1/3. This is the part that's involved in the 1/5. This is the part that was involved in the 1 over 35. And up to the last term, this was the part that was involved in 1 over 399. What's nice about this, we can cancel stuff. So the negative 1/3 and the 1/3 here cancels. The negative 1/5 and the 1/5 here cancels. The negative 1/7 will cancel with the 1 over 7 minus 1 over 9 in the next term up until the last term. So the negative 1 over 19 in the previous term was going to cancel with this. And this will leave us with 1 half times 1 over 1 minus 1 over 21. So just take the last terms, this one and this one, because everything in between gets cancelled. So all we have to do is evaluate this. So 1 half times 1 over 1, which is just 1, minus 1 over 21. We know that this part evaluates to 20 over 21. So 1 half of 20 over 21, we're going to get the final answer of 10 over 21. Hopefully you guys learned something new from this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!